so many people are into this negative mindset. They're on social media and they look at all the fighting and all the small talk and the small-minded topic. And to not be heard. I remember wanting to fit in and how important it was, but not being able to. I'm Sir Charles Carey. Once again, I welcome you to Mindset Moments. With the challenges that I had in my life and all the things that I've overcome, if I can do it, I say to you, what can you not do? Welcome to Mindset Moments. Welcome to another Mindset Moment. I'm Sir Charles Carey, peak performance strategist, coach, and author. And I love the opportunity of sharing with you because this is what I do. So today I want to talk to you about sequence or sequencing. And as I think about sequencing, it takes me back to, I guess, like the early 90s when music first started transitioning with computers. And a friend of mine, we had a group and we would load up all the strings, the bass, the drums, and of course eventually the vocals. And it all was put into this device, which was a sequencer, and the timing would come out and the song should perform flawlessly. But that's sort of how our brains work. That's how we work as human beings. That's how we, process things. And honestly, when it comes to doing a task, that should always be, or also be, the way that we do things in sequence so that it makes sense. So, now as I say that and as I share that, it's reminding me of Tina Marie because she had a couple of songs that I like, and one of her songs was Square Biz, and she says, I'm talking square biz, right? In other words, she's being honest. She's being straight up. So you're probably wondering, what does any of that have to do with personal or professional development? Well, not only do we want people to be straight up with us, but we also need to be straight up with ourselves. Let's keep it real. Many times, we don't tell ourselves the truth, or we don't perform in a manner that gives us the best advantage or the best way of moving forward in our lives. Another song that Tina Marie was popular for that I like was the duet she did with Rick James, Fire and Desire. And I remember the and that's now. But how many times in life have you done things that you were crazy about and then you dropped it like a rock? How many times in life have you done things and you said, this is it, big ticket, and then all of a sudden you fizzled out? You didn't give it a chance to work. You didn't give it yourself a chance to even learn all the inner workings, the nuances of how that thing was going to work, whether it was a job, a lemonade stand, putting together something you're building, whatever the case may be, a puzzle even, right? And you decide you trashed it. Well, sometimes things are supposed to be difficult. And they're supposed to be difficult because that's part of the learning process. And we don't usually realize that. The next line in the song, and then I'm going to leave the music alone, but he said, there was pain before pleasure, then I laid eyes on you. Well, when you lay eyes on that thing that rescues your heart, saves you from all the misery, that's letting you know you're in the space you're supposed to be in. You have actually found your sweet spot. So I would highly recommend that you consider this. I'm hoping that you will make comments, you will subscribe to my YouTube page, you will ask questions, and just let us know what you're thinking about this topic and what you're thinking about this subject matter. Now, there's some things you got to do, but I'm only going to touch on 3 things today. And the first thing I want to talk to you about is you've got to think. Now, this is important for a number of reasons. One of the first reasons is because you have to know what you want. How could you possibly go into anything without knowing what you want? You have to know what it is that you're after, because that's the value. That's the thing that should keep you up late at night. That's the thing that should spur you on and keep you excited. Number 2, as it relates to thinking, you need to understand where you are. And I don't mean physically, I don't mean your geographical location, but where are you in life? Are you in a place in life that you can really capitalize on your goal? Or are you in a place in life that regardless to where you are in life, you're going to capitalize on your goal? You see, this is important. Why it's important is because You know, we as human beings are the most intelligent species of all, and there's nothing we can't do. So if you put your mind to it, you can definitely work through it. And then you also have to know, what are you doing? Meaning, do you know the process of making this thing work, making this come to fruition? Do you know what's required of you? If it was a trip, do you know you've got enough gas? Do you have enough oil? Do you have antifreeze? Do you have what you need to complete the journey? And if it's a business opportunity or your career, do you know all the phases and all the steps that will take you from the beginning to the end? You see why this is critical, and it's a sequence. It's a series of events that make the whole possible. And I say it all the time, it's the small things that make the big things possible. And that's the same thing here in your life. It doesn't matter, even if it's in your personal life. You want to date someone. Well, you don't just date them because you want to. Hopefully you see them. You have some type of dialogue or communication, and it's mutual. You have a plan, maybe go to see a movie, have coffee. Maybe a movie or coffee turns into dinner at some point. Maybe a movie, coffee, and all those things that you've done thus far will turn into, a series of doing those things. And then hopefully you finally get to the point where you both know that you want the same thing, and that's to spend time pretty much exclusively with one another. I say pretty much because times are changing. In my era, that's just the way things were done. Now, write these things down because I think they will help you get what you want. One of the next things you want to know, and one of the next things you want to do, is think about associations. What type of associations do you have? And I'm not talking about organizations. That's fine, and that's true also. But today, for right now, I'm talking about the people. What type of people are in your life? What type of associations do you have? And that's critical. If you don't know, you need to know, because you want to know that I think it's the five closest people to you that you interact with is a reflection of what your income will be in the next 5 to 10 years. And that statistic has been said I don't know how many times, and that statistic seems to be right. You cannot afford to hang out with people that are standing around doing nothing, and you are about something, but your associations are on a much lower level, and then expect to have growth. Life does not work that way. You will not be rewarded that way. You have to level up. Or as the song says, there's levels to this, right? So associations are very important. And also you have to realize that, what contacts do you have? Are they professional contacts? Are they, just recreational? Are they, people that, work in areas that complement what you're doing, complement what you're interested in? You need to know this. What type of associations do you have? You need to know this because you need to know if they can add value to your life, professionally, personally, socially, or recreationally. Why is this critical? Because in order for you to grow, you really do need to connect with people that are about something. There's a vibration in life. There's energy in life. And if there's no energy, there is no life. So you need to be around a vibrational or a lifestyle where you're connected with people that are doing things. They say that bees in a hive can raise the temperature in the hive to certain degrees. I don't know the actual number, but the point is, just think about a bunch of bees, and they're all flapping their wings. They're all sort of hovering in that same space. Can you imagine what that can do in a small contained hive, in a small contained space? It can change the climate, and that's the same thing for us. It changes your environment. So, also, you need to know if those people are positive or are they negative. Because if they are positive, well, that's what you want. You want people that will feed you and spur you on, people that will listen to you, people that will assist you. But if they're negative, that's not going to work out so good. And then the next thing I want to talk to you about is right here. I talk about my books a lot, the Radiate the Brain book series, and it's important. It absolutely is important because nothing starts without a thought, and mindset is everything. But today, I'm looking at Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, not the book in its entirety, but I'm talking about the fact that, well, in fact, if you can see here, I marked and highlighted, and I've got little markers all throughout the book because I've read this book about 3 or 4 times, and this book will grow you, stretch you, and it will definitely change you if you let it. But the part about this book that I want to focus on today, sex transmutation. Whoa, what are you talking about, right? I'm talking about the fact that when we have relations with another person, that is energy. When you use that energy, you can't get it back instantly. It has to build. It takes time to build up. Whether it's days or whatever the case may be, is not the point. The point is you don't want to spend or expend energy unnecessarily or wastefully. And really, if you really think about it, the energy that you spend, you can choose how you spend it. It doesn't have to be with another person in an intimate setting. You could take your energy that's built up, of course, because of our hormones and how we're biology and how we're made. You can spend your energy in different areas. That particular energy, you can take that area of focus and say, well, you know what? I want to do more exercise. And if you have not had intimate relations, then your body is equipped of helping you through that workout. I want to have a better or stronger focus. If you haven't expended your energy that way, then your mind will be more focused. You have the ability to be more focused. And focus is another critical part of sex transmutation. Now, this is the key. When you think about how you spend your energy, and you want to have focus, and you want to have your physical strength, but you also will have the endurable, the endurance, the endurable strength, the ability to work through a thing. I kind of get excited about it just thinking about it, because the bottom line still is, in order to get what you want, it's not just knowing the blueprint, what's on paper, but there's also a psychological aspect of it. But here's the thing. If it's for you, it's not work. You don't even think of it that way. It just kicks in automatically because this is the thing that's designed for you. Isn't that wonderful? I mean, you don't have to think about, well, what about my sex transmutation? No. Well, what about my associations? No, you should be aware of your associations. Well, what about the way I'm thinking? You should also be aware of your thinking. But many things that we do to get us from point A to point B, it's simply just knowing that we're in the right place or the right space, because you're going to open up yourself up to opportunity. So think about the fact that when a boxer is going to have a fight, they want him to abstain from sex for several months before the bout. Why? Because he will contain all of his energy and able to throw the strongest jab, the best movement, because that's what's required for him to be the best in that specific arena. And it's the same thing for us that are doing things that are not a physical activity. It's just that sometimes I think we look at the physical activity as much greater or as much whatever. But it's the same result. The only way you know it is if you've been through it, because this is how things are done. So you need to learn how to, one, redirect your energy as it relates to sex transmutation, and realize the benefits of focus, because it will allow you to have a better focus, it allows you to have better endurance, and it allows you to have better strength. Also, you have to understand there's one thing I want you to walk away from this with. And again, I hope you're taking notes. I'm looking forward to your questions. I'm looking forward to your comments. And once again, please subscribe to my YouTube page. And by all means, check out my social media page, leaving comments or sharing out, or questions, if you will. This is something you need to know. You may not be able to prove it, but you have to know in your heart you will get it done. And results may vary, but it's better to have little results than no results at all. And this is the thing. If you get little results, you have little results, you know it works. And then you can increase to have better or greater results. But if you don't do any of it, if you don't pay attention to any of it, it won't work. It can't work. So understand there is a sequence to every aspect of our lives. Some of it is automatic, and some of it we have to plan and put it in the forefront of our mind. Remember, you don't have to worry about always proving it. Scientists and doctors are very leery of things that they can't measure. All you need to know is that you know your heart, you know your mind, you know where you're going, and you're aligned by design. Pun intended. Radiate the brain and change the game. I'll see you next time on Mindset Moments.